All right, so if you saw my Union front line and stuck with it to the end, I didn't turn off my stream and revealed that I am going to look at Beyond Sturginium Skies, and we're going to take a close look at what comes in here. So without further ado, I don't play either of these factions. I have a friend that plays Crown. I'm going to give him the Crown sprues, and the Hawkmeisters are one of the coolest miniatures in the game, so I'll keep those for myself. And who knows, I may play Imperium any day now. Alright, although I'm mainly interested in Covenant still. Campaign book, I'm not too concerned about it. It does have instructions. And it looks like it comes with some missions in here. Those will be fun to play through. Although they're probably designed for the contents of this box. Rules 3.04, those are current. More tokens. You get 20 dice. Can never get enough of these. Crit dice. And then some bases here. I don't know what comes in here that needs the bases. It looks like SRS for the British. Okay. These are water bases for the Hawkmeisters. I'm not going to dwell too much on a lot of these sprues. I just don't know these factions well. But we'll take a look. So let's clear off some space so we got some white background for these. Alright, so here's our sword. There's the mace. And here's all the Hawkmeister parts. There's a hand. I think this is a weapon that they have instead of a hand. Helmet. These look like some heavy volt gun batteries. So, you know, pretty exciting. Nothing bad to say about that. You get 2 Hawkmeisters in this box. And you get Crown support sprues. Nice. So this is the Hotspur deck. There's the Morgana submarine body. And then here is a gun battery for some kind of a prow gun. Guardian generator. I'm not too familiar with the Crown. I couldn't tell you too much about this stuff. But I will say War Cradle Studios makes their stuff in the UK, and you can tell. You can absolutely tell the quality. When you get like Thailand junk or China trash, you really start missing UK quality, and that's one thing that I love about, oh, these are Lancelots. I think the destroyers for the Crown, I think that's the Lancelot. Gun battery forward and gun battery aft. But you can really tell the quality. I find they're not quite up to the consistency of Games Workshop. I'll often get a sprue that is warped or has a lot of real bad mold lines, but they're usually at least as good as Games Workshop, which I consider the kind of the pinnacle for plastic miniatures. I haven't found a company that does them better, and this is the nice plastic that we know and love. So, love them. I'm sure my friend will appreciate getting a couple extra support sprues for his Crown. And this is actually the whole reason I bought this, and this is what I want to dwell on. So here is, these are called, I think they call this the Objective Sprue. And yeah, Dystopian Wars Objective Set is what it says down there. So, this is the Mass 3 platform. in the mission oil fields, there's supposed to be 2 of these, 1 for each player. Okay? And these are the Mass 2 platforms, which most factions, I think, should look on these with contempt. But the Union, I've actually found a bit of success playing Farpoint platforms with the Union. Now, the service platform, I think, is kind of junk for the Union. Costs the same as a California, and all it has is advanced repair facilities, which I don't rate that good. But yeah. So I was interested in comparing the size, because you can see this is gigantic for what should only be a Mass 3. So this is what the oil platform should be. And we have been using the old fortifications from Spartan Games. I found some on eBay, and I've been using the towers in place of these guys here. Okay, so let's compare. So here is the Union fortification, and if you look, it's almost identical in size. So I actually lucked out, and we've been playing with actually a very good proxy for our oil platforms. And this was the tower, and if you see, it's a slightly different shape. But again, that's spot on. It's hardly different. It's got some points sticking out on either side, so it's a slightly different shape. But those worked out very well. I'm glad. Just some details. They have helicopter pads. These are important for me for pretending they're far points. They have kind of generic heavy gun batteries with a regular gun battery position. So if these are going to be platforms for your faction, definitely just use your own gun batteries, and you've instantly customized it to your own faction. Same thing with the light weapons. There's some small gun batteries and things in here. Just use your own faction ones. And then here, these cranes are almost identical to the ones that the Union get. I don't know if it's the same for every faction, but the Union get these on the Montgomery and the California. So this is my first time doing an unboxing. This isn't really my first unboxing. I did one earlier for Union, but this is almost immediately after. So I don't know how good this stuff looks. I know my audio was terrible in the other one. I tried rehanging my mic. We'll see if that helps. There's just a regular gun battery. That's mostly what the little platforms get. Here's a mine token. You can see, and then that's the detritus. Those are also for missions. So you need the big oil platform for oil fields. You need this for salvage, and if you use mines, then you want the minefield. Now, as you can see, these are bigger ever so slightly than a base. But I think you wouldn't go too wrong using a base still. It's almost a negligible amount of distance for a minefield or for a flotsam. If you have nothing, I think the bases are still very, very close. You can see there's just not much. You see that it's definitely bigger, and you'll get a bigger radius out of the real token. But if you have nothing else, then a base should be fine. Looking at the detail of the flotsam, we can see a bunch of little canisters and junk. Again, these canisters the Union gets. They're on the California. So it makes me feel like this is a very American pile of junk. I don't know if other factions get these same canisters, but I do. Same thing with these hoses and these crane arms. So it's a pretty good set. One set will give you 2 flotsam, which is not enough. You want 6. It gives you 2 Mass 3 oil rigs, which is perfect. And it'll give you 4 Mass 2 platforms, which for me is perfect because that's actually what I needed, was these Mass 2 platforms. And then just so you can see, a Mass 2 platform is really a spot on a match of the base. So if you need platforms, if you're playing Union or you're playing a faction, you actually want to try the platforms. Just the regular old base is the perfect proxy. Just stick something on it so that it's more clear to your opponent that something's actually there and it's just not a base. What you might want to do with these guys is, if you have a friend that owns them, I might trace the outline on a piece of paper, and I would just use some paper circles, or even just, if you have it, maybe chop up some old pieces of mouse pad material and use those for your minefields and potentially your flotsam. Minefields, it does kind of matter, because if you're using mines, you want to get the maximum distance possible out of your mine. So you'd want to use the bigger template if you can. The flotsam, I don't think it matters, frankly. And the platforms, like I said, the Spartan era fortifications are like exactly the right size for these. So you can use those if they're more easily available. But the way I looked at this set is, it's a Rules and Gubbins box that has these, which I really wanted. It had 2 sprues I could give to a friend of mine. And then it has these Hawkmeisters, which I might just assemble for hobby stuff. So I think it's still worthwhile, even if you don't play these forces. If you play Commonwealth, or you play Covenant, or you like that stuff better, then you'd get Beyond the Hunt for the Prometheus. But this is what I went with. I'm very happy with it. I'm glad to have the real platforms. I think they look really cool. I mean, you look at this walkway here. You know, you can imagine your workers walking down that walkway, getting their jobs done or taking care of whatever they need to take care of. I'm excited to put this together. I want all my small platforms, so I'm not going to put any small platforms on here. The instructions show you could stack the small platforms on top of these hexagons. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do these as oil derricks. I do not like the Mass 3 platforms right now. Maybe they'll become good later. Right now, I think they're too easy to destroy, and they just don't give you enough. But like I said, thank you for joining me. I'll make sure to shut the stream off properly this time. And I'm not going to guarantee that the audio was any better. It should be better right now because I'm holding the microphone, but I really need to wear a jacket if I'm going to be using these mics. But like I say, I think this is a good set. I'm happy with the platforms. You can use the Spartan land fortifications for them. The towers work very well for Mass 2s, and the big bunkers work well for the Mass 3s. And then for the objective tokens, I would just try to trace them out if you can't get enough of them, and just put them on paper. Anyway, like I say, thanks for joining me, and I hope you all have a good evening, and I hope this helped you if you're interested in this set or you're not too sure about what came on that objective sprue and whether you want it or not. All right, everybody. Bye.